说中文。
Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese. Chinese pot, Chinese pot, Chinese pot. That's the way to learn Chinese.
Hello there, elementaries. This is Chinese Pod, and I'm Ken Carroll.
Hi, I'm Jenny.
Now, in our elementary lesson today, we have some natural sounding dialogues, right? We're not loading this with like new vocabulary, so you won't be like really challenged by the new vocab. But what we want is a natural sound. I think sounding natural and idiomatic is easily as important, I think, as learning more and more words.
Yes.
So we're going to concentrate this on this and another couple of lessons, in fact, we have lined up. So tell us a little bit about the context for this natural rhythm of speech, Jenny.
Oh, just now you used the phrase lined up.
Lined
and
up.
today we are getting somebody to line up.
To line up. Now, what is that called in Chinese?
排队,排队.
排队.
对.
Now, line up in the sense of get in line or
对,
get into a queue.
queue.
Now, that is a huge issue around here because
Yes.
this thing faces us to deal with our sort of cultural and other assumptions
Yes.
about how these things work.
And it might not be very pleasant when you first come to China, right?
I
But
think
then you discover there's a different systems, philosophy with lining up.
Exactly. So, I mean, I don't really like all this really, really relativistic stuff. I think it doesn't mean that much to me. But the fact is that there are different ways you can look at it.
对.
And so we'll have, I think, a very interesting little topic to chat about. So this is 排队,
Yes.
getting in line. Let's listen to some example of it from real life. And then we'll talk about the language and we'll talk about the culture after that.
Sounds good. 对话第一遍。
哎，排队！
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
唉，
第二遍。
哎，排队！
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
唉，
第三遍。
哎，排队！
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
唉，
Okay.
So the man, he uses the silent strategy.
Yeah, I think it's quite common to use the silent
Yes.
strategy, and it can be quite clever. And we'll talk about how and when that might happen. So let's do the translation, so we'll be sure that the listeners get the meaning first.
Yep. 哎，排队。
Hey, you, get in line.
哎，排队。
Hey, get in line.
哎，排队。什么？
What?
什么？
What?
什么？大家都在排队。你看，
Everybody else is standing in line. Look,
大家都在排队。你看，
everybody's standing in line. You take a look.
大家都在排队。你看，哦，你怎么这样啊？快排队！
What are you doing? Could you please get in line?
你怎么这样啊？快排队！
Why are you doing this? Quick, get into line.
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
Yeah, exactly.
就是，
Yeah.
就是，哎，哎，
Oh,
哎。
a non-committal sort of
Yeah, it could mean several
It
things.
could mean several
doesn't it?
things. So basically, let's see what happened here. Tell us exactly what happened here. So,
Well, they are in a train station.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
and getting tickets probably.
Yeah.
And someone jumps
The line.
The line,
Yeah.
and it's told by a brave woman to get in the line,
That's
排队,
right.
but he
Yeah.
doesn't quite do exactly what she
He
says.
kind of ignores it, doesn't he?
对
Yeah.
verbally acknowledging it, but doesn't
But
do
not
anything.
doing it. It's like, yeah, get in line.
And there's another woman who
Yes.
chips in and help to discipline the man.
Yes.
But I don't know to what effect.
Yeah, so this is it. Do people react? Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. It's kind of strange. Now, we'll talk
Right.
about that in a few minutes. But let's look at the language. So the phrase itself is
排队,排队.
great. Now, the tones here are
Second and fourth.
second and fourth.
Yes.
One more time.
排队,排队.
排队. Great phrase.
Yes.
Now, tell us about the two elements here.
Well, 排 means to arrange.
To arrange
And 队 means a squad.
a squad.
对, a group of people.
A team or a
Yes.
group or squad. Yeah. So together you have arranged the squad. That's a funny translation. Yeah, arrange the squad, please.
排队.
It means get into line.
对.
So it's very much, it sounds kind of militaristic as well, doesn't it? You know?
Oh, very much so.
Because that's what they would actually say in the military.
对，
Come on,
排队。
guys, 排队, line up, get in a line there. So there's a few little mnemonic things hopefully there to help you. So it's second and fourth, 排队.
排队。
Maybe you think of a military officer telling his people too.
排队.
And they do indeed.
Yes.
排队. But unfortunately, that's not always the way in civilian life. People have the option of ignoring you when
对啊。
you tell them to 排队. And this guy, his response is,
什么?
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 Now, believe me, everybody in China knows what 排队 means. Right? There's no way, there's no configuration that I can think of that a Chinese person doesn't know what that means. But they say,
什么?
meaning what? And Shema is very open-ended as well. It could mean, what are you saying? What do you mean? Why are you talking? What is this?
But anyway, he is pretending that he doesn't get it.
Yeah, so he's remaining
ignoring
there.
you.
Yeah, he's cut in and he's still
对。
doing Shema. Now, so this helpful woman explains to him that
大家都在排队,你看,大家都在排队,
yeah.
你看.
Now, fairly straightforward. Everybody is 在排队. They're
对。
all doing that. They're all 排队. You can take a look for yourself.
Yes.
Now, again, this is the way she says it. It's fairly quick, but that's the natural sound of it and the tone of it. So give that some thought, give that some focus as you listen to it. All right. Now, and he goes,
Oh,
oh. Now, notice that these are sort of...
little sounds.
yes, these are actually very non-committal. I mean, it could mean I agree or I don't. Or it could mean I see or I don't see. Or
对啊。
it could mean anything, really.
Actions speak louder
they
than words.
do.
And he doesn't do anything. right?
Actions speak louder than grunts. Yeah, and that's kind of what he's doing. Now, so now another lady chips in. She's getting upset with this. And she says,
你怎么这样啊?快排队.
yeah, 你怎么这样? How can you do that way?
是的。
怎么这样? 这样, that way.
That's obviously blaming the person,
That's right.
accusing him for jumping the line.
How can you be this way? It sounds slightly dramatic, but it's actually the way it's
Yes.
said in this sort of somewhat sort of casual form.
Yeah.
Again, let's hear it again. Yeah.
你怎么这样啊?你怎么这样啊?
Yeah. Now, so hurry up, quickly get into line.
快排队,快排队.
Now, 快排队. Now, whether he will or not remains to be seen. In fact, by the end here, I don't think he is at all. He's ignoring it.
Yeah.
We can look at that in a second.
But 快排队 itself is quite strong.
It is. It's direct.
对, it's like
It's an
a
imperative.
command.
Yes,
对,
yeah.
快排队. Get in
into
line now.
It's not asking, it's telling. Yeah.
对.
Now he's not doing it. And so the first lady is like,
就是.
now, 就是 is an amazing phrase that when literally you look at it, it wouldn't appear to, I don't know, how would you...
Yeah, it means it is,
It
right?
is, yeah.
That's the situation.
That's the situation. So it's emphasizing
Yeah.
that's the way. Look, I can't even translate it.
Well, here, the first lady, she is reaffirming what the lady just said.
Yes,
So adding weight to her statement.
Yeah. I associate this phrase with when somebody has complained or said a negative thing or made a mild criticism of some sort, and you want to emphasize that you agree with this criticism. You go,
就是
That's exactly the way it is. You know, I'm in total agreement with you in our self-righteousness here. 就是. So really useful and very colorful, and you'll sound very fluent there. Now you could of course say in a joking way when you're
就是
if you're joking around in some other way, but that's what it means. I totally agree with that statement. Now, does the man move or not? Well, by the end of it, not really. He's still cut into the
Grunts.
line. Yes, he's grunting. Let's listen to it 3 more times, and then we can just talk about the cultural aspect of this.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to Chinese Pod Trivia. Our first question is, how long will it take you to become an intermediate Chinese speaker using the Chinese Pod app? Is it A, the rest of your life? B, you should already be an intermediate speaker? C, 3 months? Or D, Chinese Pod has an app?
You should already be in.
Ooh, that is incorrect. The correct answer is C, 3 months. That's right. Head over to ChinesePod.com now to register for your access to over 4,000 lessons. Get the Chinese Pod app now on Google Play or the App Store.
对话第一遍。
哎，排队，
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
哎，
第二遍。
哎，排队，
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
哎，
第三遍。
哎，排队！
什么？
大家都在排队，你看，
哦，
你怎么这样啊？快排队！就是，
哎。
Okay.
Can you have some really revealing observations about 排队?
Well, I think 排队 is culture specific. I think notions of 排队 are very much culture specific. You have sort of low context cultures in Europe, the States, Germany, especially Switzerland. You 排队, it's fairly rigid, right? You get in line and you stay in that position regardless of what's happening. That is the way it is. If the person in front of you, for example, is slow or right, you have the right.
Or
to
you
sort of
are,
complain.
you have something very urgent.
Yeah, but you still have to stand in
排队.
line. You have to 排队. You don't change it. But I remember some years ago in Malaysia, actually, I was running to get a plane and I needed to change some money to get taxi to the airport and stuff like that. I went into a changer and there were two European ladies, older ladies. I don't know exactly where they were from.
Switzerland.
I don't know. It could have been. I don't know. I'm not knocking the Swiss here. Don't get me wrong. But anyway, they were really slow and they were looking at their books and their change. And
But you had a particular situation. You had a plane to catch.
I didn't
right?
get a plane. I just wanted to change a couple $100 to just make sure I had money to get to the airport, right? So I'm like, I was waiting for about 10 minutes. And these old ladies were comparing the dollars in this. I was like, look. And I went up and I said, look, can you just change $200 for me? And he said, yeah, sure. And he was, it took him about 3 minutes to do it. And these two ladies
They
turned
must have
around.
been quite upset.
They were really upset with me. And I was like, oh, goodness me. So, again, I can see that from a European perspective, you 排队, then you 排队, and that's the way it is.
And you committed an injustice, Ken.
Yeah, right?
Crime.
But in China, I can see that sometimes it's actually very efficient.
Yeah, in the Asian
Yeah.
context.
And people won't sometimes, well, not, I mean, it really depends in China. Well,
It's like the rules are bendable,
they
right?
are,
It's
they're
more flexible.
So you don't necessarily have to feel offended in Chinese. In Western, you will be offended,
Yes.
which is almost like a law of nature.
Yeah. And of course, there are plus and downsides to each system. system.
Yes,
For
yes.
example, in China, because there's always leeway and flexibility,
Yeah.
people don't really enforce the rule.
That's right. So both systems work. It does take some adjustment. Ultimately, I wouldn't really make adjustment, but of course, I'm more comfortable with the pai dui. And there are times when it is really upsetting when somebody cuts
Yes,
the line.
and I should say you can say to them 排队. And in my experience, I'm always the sort of 排队 police
Yeah.
vigilante, and most of the time it works.
Yes.
If you put them under public scrutiny.
Yeah, they'll do it. I mean,
do
I've
it.
even seen in like Kentucky Fried Chicken or McDonald's or somewhere, some guy cuts in and the person behind the
checkout,
thing will say,
yeah.
"Excuse me,
排
排
队.
队, go to the end of the line."
是的。
And that person will do it.
Yeah.
They'll be like, okay, I'm not going to cause a fuss. Whereas in a European context, I think that you'd be quite, you can't tell me how to do it. But really interesting, full of cultural nuance, I think, this little discussion. And we can follow that in the comment section as well if you're interested. But anyway, we hope that language was useful. That's the way it happens, and that's the language you need. So maybe we have to move on, but don't forget to come to ChinesePod.com.
对，有很多的课在排队
That's
many
right.
lessons lined up for you.
All right, looks like it's time, Jenny. I will be back again tomorrow.
I don't want to go.
Oh,
再见。
再见.
As usual, ChinesePod provides an extensive selection of learning materials for this lesson on its website, www.chinesepod.com. You can access this lesson directly with the lesson number
1037.
So just go to www.chinesepod.com/1037 and you will find a transcript, vocabulary, and much more. The link again, www.chinesepod.com/1037.